Hey Phil, I'll go. Scholar of Sports Illustrated. Matt has talked a lot about Marquis Haynes and his development, and how he could be a guy that could step up for you guys this year, especially in Hassan's place. So, what do you see from him so far in OTAs, and do you think that he could be that guy that could maybe replace Hassan's production?
Marquise has the ability to rush the passer. I think one of the things that's hurt him a little bit is his power game rushing. He's really a speed guy. So we asked him to put on some weight, and he's around 250 now. And he played about 240 a year ago. So I think that's really going to help him, and I'm expecting him to put pressure on the quarterback. I think you'll see him step up, and his role will be it'll be more than it was a year ago. So I'm anxious to see how he does.
Who else do you see kind of in that role that Hassan played last year to kind of make up for it? Is it going to be kind of like a by committee kind of deal?
Yeah, Frankie Louvu could show up there. Shaq could. Damian Wilson, I think, is a good edge rusher. Corey Littleton. So we have other guys that will play a role in coming off the edge, along with our safety position. Chen's a really good blitzer. We'll manufacture that, but really it's got to come from Marquise and Etor. Those guys will, I think, really come along for us and rush the passer off the edge opposite Burns.
Go ahead, Darren.
Wanted to ask you a little bit about the changes to the coaching staff this offseason. What's it been like getting to know Steve Wilks and working with him, and also Paul Pasqualoni?
Well, it's funny because both of them I didn't know real well before they came here, but I knew a lot of people and worked with people that had worked with them. So, I've known these guys for a long time, and, they're both, they're professionals at what they do, and they're really good at what they do. So, it's been a pleasure to work with both of them. I love coaches that bring other ideas and new things. I think if you don't advance every year in what you do and how you do it, people catch up to you. So, they've added a lot to the staff, and it's been exciting to work with them.
What's an example of something new or maybe a different perspective that Steve's brought to this in particular?
Well, I'll give you Pasqualoni first, then I'll go Steve.
Right.
Like Pasqualoni's toughness, his old school mentality is, you either do it or you don't. There's no in between, right? There's a way to do things at a level and a standard that we're going to do them. That's refreshing today in coaching. Coach Pasqualoni really brings that. Coach Wilks, he's had a lot of success in the secondary doing different things. And so he's added a few new techniques that we can employ. And then just also his leadership with that group is fun to watch.
All right, David Newman, followed by Jonathan.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. I wanted to ask, I know you focus on the defensive side, but you're also seeing the offensive side. What are you seeing from what's going on across the ball so far during OTAs?
I told Ben this morning, I said, I like what we're doing offensively, and I think the guys are getting better every day. So I think our offense is making really good progress. So, I don't know how you'd have to ask them directly, but from my standpoint, watching the video, I think we're doing really a good job over there.
As a defense coordinator, what they're doing, is it tougher to defend than what you've seen in the past there?
Well, Joe did a great job last year schematically. One of the things about our league is you see a lot of the same type plays. And obviously, it's the way it's executed that makes it work. But we were talking about it in the room the other day. Guys are getting better at doing what they're doing on offense, and schematically, we're doing a lot of good things. So, I'm anxious to see us in camp, because we can't really run the ball without pads on right now, and I think we're going to be able to. So I think it's going to be fun to watch our offense develop.
And one last thing, the middle linebacker spot. I know that's been a kind of a project over the last few years since we've watched them since Luke Kuechly moved on. Hadn't had anybody quite to that level. How do you see that growing right now to the point where you see it improving?
Well, Damian is really going to help us in the middle. And then Shaq is also, really a good on third down Mike backer, right? So I think we're much better inside than we were a year ago. So I'm anxious. But to be honest with you, we're still not playing football. We're not in pads right now. So, when we get into camp and the physicality of how we've developed inside with Ioannidis and the Mike backer will all show up in camp. So I'm anxious to see that develop.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
Hey Phil, hope you're doing well. Obviously Hassan Reddick and Marquise Haynes, and as well as Etor, aren't the same type of players. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, does incorporating those guys and Frankie, does that change how your defense looks, and if so, how?
Well, I think we're always trying to stay ahead of the offense. So we're, one of the things that you try to do is, we're all multiple in coverage in this league. We're not as multiple up front, and so because Hassan, so we had to be a little bit different front wise with Hassan than we are right now. But we will also, I will adapt, and our defensive staff will adapt to what we when we get done with camp, we're going to know who we are. And so if we need to adapt what fronts we run or how we're doing it, we will do that. The players win football games, and we got to put our players in the best possible positions, and that's what we'll look forward to doing as we develop through camp.
Joe Person.
Phil, good morning. Thanks for doing this.
You bet.
When we spoke to you in the winter, you had mentioned Etor being sort of more of your interior sort of pass rusher on obvious passing downs. Mm-hmm. Are you envisioning still doing that? You mentioned him just a minute ago as being vital to the edge rush.
Well, okay, so on third down, ideally you'd like Marquise and Burns off the edges, right? And then put Etor inside. But, I think that Derek has come a long ways rushing the passer. We have Ioannidis now. So, but we'll have a rotation, but you'll see Etor outside and inside. And, the more guys can do, the better we're going to play. And that's what I really like. We have about 5 or 6 players that can do a lot of different things for us, and Etor's one of them.
On that topic, I know Frankie, you often mention as being one of those versatile guys.
Yep.
Is there something you feel like he does best? And why did you and Matt why was he important to bring back?
Well, one is his energy and how he plays the game. I think that's really important, and we try to stress that an average play is 6 seconds, and if you can get 11 guys to play snap to whistle at a high level and be physical while they're doing it, then you got a chance to play pretty good on defense. And so he's a reflection of that. He's the brand, the standard. So that's one reason we brought him back. And then 2 is he can create a lot of havoc by sending him in different areas. That's his biggest asset. But Frankie's made a lot of progress now dropping. We've dropped him a lot this spring, and he's making really good progress. So I think you're going to see a more all-around linebacker this fall from Frankie. So I'm looking forward to watching that progress.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan.
Phil, can I ask you the same about Dante Jackson and bringing him back?
Ask that again, please.
I was wondering if I could ask you the same about Dante Jackson and the value in bringing him back.
Yeah, I really wanted, and our staff wanted Dante back. First of all, to play the run in this league, it's hard to find corners that'll play the run. And Dante's physical in the run game. He tackles well. He can be a little aggressive sometimes and miss, but if you watch him, he's really a good tackler. And he's not afraid of competition. He likes to cover the best guy, and he competes. He can really run. He has really good physical skills. So, I think he's one of the more talented corners in our league. And he's shown great improvement from year 1 to 2 under the tutelage that, Evan Cooper's given him. So I was excited about getting Dante back, and I think our whole staff has been.